Is perfectionism actually working for you? Hi there, and welcome back to Ask Dr. Syra, the show where I answer your questions about personal growth, mental health, and relationships. Today's question really made me think. It really made me think, and so I've been thinking a lot, and hopefully what I've thought about will be helpful. The question comes from Al-Karim, and Al-Karim says, I'm a high achiever. I work hard and I get results. I don't really see what's wrong with perfectionism. Why is this something I should address when it's giving me the life I want? I'm a high achiever, I work hard, and I get results. I don't really see what's wrong with perfectionism. Why is this something I should address when it's giving me the life I want? This is such a brilliant question, right? And so I want to kind of dive in, just go for it. So I want to say up front that maybe it's okay. There are people who actually really thrive, and they're not seeing any problems. There's no downside to their perfectionism. I haven't met those people, but they're out there. I'm sure they're out there. If Al-Karim, if you were my client, I would get you to think about some things that maybe you already have or maybe you haven't. And if you can kind of say check to these things, then just keep doing what you're doing. Don't try to if there's nothing broken, don't fix it, right? Now, if there's nothing broken, don't fix it. So a lot of people when they come to therapy are unaware of how much is broken. So it's not that there's nothing broken, it's just that they don't know. And asking ourselves some of these questions can sometimes shed a light on things that we haven't seen until now. That's why it's so important when you're starting personal growth or self-help, that it's not just self-help, that you're actually connected with community in some way. So whether that's a group that you attend, whether that's, family and friends that are doing this kind of work that you're talking to, and not just try to figure it out on your own, because things come up, right? And if you don't have the training in psychology, then things can come up and really overwhelm people. So I always recommend people to seek out a group or a place to connect with other like-minded people. And it doesn't have to be formal. It could just be, a friend or two that kind of are going through a similar thing and you talk about it together. And one of the reasons I recommend for people to do that is because it's good to have an outside perspective sometimes, right? So Al-Karim says, it's giving me the life I want. Why should I address it? So I would ask you these 3 questions. So the first is, are there areas in your life that you want more balance? Because with perfectionism often comes single-mindedness, right? So you can get really focused on a particular area of your life and lose balance in other areas. So you mentioned, I work hard, I get results. So I'm, when you say I get results, I think of working out, right? I think of physical fitness and how you work hard, you get results, you push and you master it. And then there's the worry and the option, and I've seen it, where people get so immersed in their physical fitness that they start losing out in other areas of their life, right? If you're spending 6 hours at a gym and you're actually not a personal trainer or a staff member at the gym, that's, all of those hours that you could have been engaging with family, you could have been pursuing a hobby, you could have been at work, you could have been, right? So you're making choices to now put all this chunk of energy and time into the one thing that you have, that you've become perfectionistic about. And that's where it gets dangerous. So I would say, look around and say, are there things that are out of balance in my life? One tool that you can use for that is really simple. I call it the balance wheel. And in transpersonal psychology, there's 6 areas that we focus on when we're looking for balance. So there's the emotional, the intellectual. So that's reading and learning and engaging. Emotional is being in touch with our feelings. So emotional, intellectual, spiritual, so anything that kind of brings you a sense of connection and grounding. Physical, so that's your body and all of your body needs and food and health and all of that. So physical, spiritual, physical, community. So that's the people you're connected to, and creative. So I'll just say those quickly if I can. Physical, I probably say it out of order. Okay, sorry, excuse me, forgive me. Physical, emotional, intellectual, creative, community, and spiritual. I think I got them all. So those 6 areas. So look at those 6 areas, and I encourage people to actually draw like a wheel and like with spokes and even 6 areas, and then draw it again, but draw it in the way that how much of your energy and time do you put into each of these areas, and then you'll see the pie pieces are bigger or smaller. Now, this is not a therapy. This is just a video. So like talk to your therapist. Not medical advice, but it's something that you might want to try, right? Is to look at balance, and are there areas in your life where you've become out of balance because you've been striving and pushing so hard. The second thing I would consider and ask is your perfectionism impacting your relationships or the people around you? That's a big one, because so I think about, there's some things that I'm very nitpicky about. I like them a certain way, and that I realized over time that was impacting my relationships with my kids, with my husband, with my guests in my house, right? That it was actually creating this strain because people were afraid to like do anything because I would get upset because something's out of place, right? So I had to kind of really look at that and say, okay, maybe I need to change my standards because people aren't enjoying living in this house. They're just like not touching anything. Is that perfectionism impacting your loved ones or the people around you? The third thing I would ask you to consider is there, in addition to achievement, because he said, Alkarim said that I work hard and I get results, right? It's given me the life I want. So there's this sense of achievement that this particular person, perfectionism, brings them that achievement. But I would argue that life, absolutely, achievement is important. It gives us a sense of purpose. It gives us a sense of accomplishment, of meaning, of value. And our lives can't just be about achievement. They can't just be about achievement. They also have to be about enjoyment, right? So if the perfectionism is robbing you of enjoyment, then it's something to think about. It's something to shift and work on. Because life is more than, and there are periods of our life where we're in a mode and we have to get through. Like I think about, my PhD program. It's like, I just had to get through that. I just had to like write the damn paper and just push. And it was hard. And there was not a lot of enjoyment going on. But that was a period of time and it passed. And then I could relax and get more into balance, right? So if there's no enjoyment, and it's not just because it's a time-bound thing that's going on, that's troublesome, right? Then, because now we're talking about quality of life, not just your achievements and your like checklist, but are you enjoying living this life that you've created for yourself? If you're not, or if you're not to the capacity that you could be, then it's worth checking it out. Maybe perfectionism has something to do with that. So those are my thoughts. Those are my suggestions on, if this is working for, and honestly, if it's working for you, it's working for you. Don't mess around. But after asking yourself these questions, you might find that it's some areas it's not, and maybe not. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Check out if you want more balance anywhere. How's it impacting your relationships? And is there also enjoyment in your life? If you can say yes, that your life is in balance, it's not affecting your loved ones, and you are enjoying yourself, then just keep doing what you're doing. And if you have some questions about those questions, then maybe it's time to look at that. So those are my thoughts, and hopefully that was helpful. Please pass this on to friends or family or people in your lives who might benefit from this, who are like wondering about perfectionism. And I will see you next time. Bye.